Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome. It's Thursday. It's been a busy day, but it's news roundup time. Just a programming note, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time over on Rocket Garden Media. What are we doing? The Mitsubishi Heavy Industries rocket is launching from Japan. Special guest Max Murrah is going to join the Rocket Garden crew. And yeah, so you should check that out too. As of right now, I think we're going to do the news. I don't know. So let's get into it. Good news. We're going to start off the day with the best news that we could possibly get. Yeah, Japanese rocket. Thank you. Preparing for Disease X. So there's a summit at the World Economic Forum, the annual meeting coming up. It's going to be January 17th. It's going to be the forum. And with fresh warnings from the World Health Organization that an unknown Disease X could result in 20 times more fatalities than COOF. What novel efforts are needed to prepare the healthcare systems for the multiple challenges ahead? So this is kind of what's going on right now. We got an exclusive clip from the World Economic Forum. Why not start off with this so we immediately get fucked? Here we go. It's got subtitles because it's in German. So you'll just have to read the subtitles.
Es ist dem Feind gelungen, die Front in breiter Formation zu durchbrechen. Im Süden hat der Gegner Zossen genommen und stößt auf Stahnsdorf vor. Der Feind operiert jetzt am nördlichen Stadtrand zwischen Frohnau und Pankow und im Osten ist der Feind bis zur Linie Lichtenberg-Marsdorf-Karlshorst gelangt.
Mit dem Angriff Steiners wird das alles in Ordnung kommen.
Mein Führer, Steiner konnte nicht genügend Kräfte für einen Angriff massieren. Der Angriff Steiner ist nicht erfolgt.
Es bleiben im Raum Keitel, Jodl, Krebs und Butter. Das war ein Befehl! Der Angriff Steiners war ein Befehl! Wer schickt Sie? Dass Sie es wagen, sich meinen Befehl zu widersetzen! So weit ist das also gekommen. Das Militär hat mich belogen! Jeder hat mich belogen, sogar die SS! Die gesamte Generalität ist nichts weiter als ein Haufen niederträchtiger, treuloser Feiglinge!
Mein Führer, ich kann nicht zulassen, dass die Soldaten, die für Sie verbringen...
Nicht Feiglinge! Verreiter, Versager!
Mein Führer, was Sie da sagen, ist ungeheuerlich.
Die Generalität ist das Geschmeiß des deutschen Volkes! Sie ist ohne Ehre! Sie nennen sich Generale, weil Sie Jahre auf Militärakademien zugebracht haben, nur um zu lernen, wie man Messer und Gabel hält! Jahrelang hat das Militär meine Aktionen nur behindert. Es hat mich jeden nur als Widerstand in den Weg gelegt. Ich hätte gut daran getan, von Jahren alle höheren Offiziere liquidieren zu lassen, wie Stalin. Ich war nie auf einer Akademie. Und doch habe ich allein auf mich gestellt. Ganz Europa erobert. Verräter. Von allem Anfang an bin ich so verraten und betrogen worden. Es wurde ein ungeheurer Verrat geübt am deutschen Volke. Aber alle diese Verräter werden bezahlen. Mit ihrem eigenen Blut werden sie bezahlen. Sie werden das saufen in ihrem eigenen Blut.
Bitte gerne. Jetzt beruhig dich doch.
All right, so that's from the whole tweet. So gets credit for that. God, that was funny. So that was allegedly the World Economic Forum meeting with the Democratic National Committee. I don't know. Obviously, it's fucking parody, so don't screw with me, YouTube. Parody is protected, or should be. So I wanted to start off with something a little less impactful since the news sucks tonight. But yeah, breaking news statement from President Joe Biden on coalition strikes in Houthi-controlled areas in Yemen. As you know, actually it's bigger if I just leave it like that. As you know, the United States just carried, or maybe you don't know, just did a quick show on it. The United States carried out bombing runs on another sovereign nation without congressional approval or without even order from the president, because the president's nappy poo. But this is officially from the White House in Washington, D.C. Statement from President Joe Biden on coalition airstrikes. Today, at my direction, U.S. military forces, the thing, Jack, together with the United Kingdom and with support from Australia, Bahrain, Canada, and the Netherlands, successfully conducted strikes against a number of targets in Yemen used by Houthi rebels to endanger freedom of navigation in one of the world's most vital waterways. These strikes are in direct response to the unprecedented Houthi attacks against the international maritime vessels in the Red Sea, including the use of anti-ship ballistic missiles for the first time in history. These attacks have endangered U.S. personnel, civilian mariners, our partners, jeopardized trade, and threatened freedom of navigation. More than 50 nations have been affected in the 27 attacks on international commercial shipping. Crews from more than 20 countries have been threatened or taken hostage in acts of piracy. More than 2,000 ships have been forced to divert thousands of miles to avoid the Red Sea, which can cause weeks of delay in product shipping times. And on January 9th, Houthis launched their largest attack to date, directly targeting American ships. Hey, what's up, Josh? The response... Oh, shit, I didn't even say hi to people. Hi, people. Sorry. The response of international community to these reckless attacks has been united and resolute. Last month, the United States launched Operation Prosperity Guardian, a coalition of more than 20 nations committed to defending international shipping and deterring Houthi attacks in the Red Sea. We also joined more than 40 nations in condemning the Houthi threats. Last week, together with 13 allies and partners, we issued an unequivocal warning that the Houthi rebels would bear the consequences if the attacks did not cease. And yesterday, the United Nations Security Council passed a resolution demanding the Houthis end attacks on merchant and commercial vessels. Today's defensive action follows the extensive diplomatic campaign and Houthis rebels' escalating attacks on commercial vessels. These targeted strikes are a clear message that the United States and our partners will not tolerate attacks on our personnel or allow hostile actors to imperil freedom of navigation in one of the world's most critical commercial routes. I will not hesitate to direct further measures to protect our people and the free flow of international commerce as necessary. Fuck yeah. So that's the statement that Joey Poo couldn't stay up to give. That's official release from the White House. This is not a good idea, and so there's reports out that one of our vessels in the Red Sea was sunk. That's unconfirmed, and I don't know if she was joking or not, but we lost an aircraft as well. So that's unfortunate. I don't know why. I don't know why. It almost makes no sense. But, shit happens. And I don't know. I don't know what the administration's doing. We're not under good leadership, and it needs to change. There has to be something done with former Vice President Joseph Robinette Biden, because not only does he strike a sovereign nation without authorization, he also strikes a sovereign nation without authorization while in bed and not able to give a speech to the American people. I miss the peace we had with Trump. So do I. Wouldn't have happened under Trump? Exactly. This we've already heard escalations from the Iranians. The Syrians and Iran both said that they were going to protect and defend the Houthis in Yemen. So the United States seems to think that we were just going to send in troops, or send in airstrikes and naval vessels, and do some targeted strikes, and then just walk out, and everything was going to be good, and it was just a retaliatory thing for what they've done to commercial shipping, and that's not the case. They've already escalated and inflamed tensions in the area, and we will probably very likely see attacks against U.S. personnel. There's some reports that we're already seeing attacks against U.S. personnel in Iraq from various allied groups. Another thing, and we'll get to it later, so I'm not going to bring it up now, but look at that dodge. So, a large-scale air campaign against the Houthi Terrorist Group in Western Yemen, consisting of hundreds of missiles, an airstrike by the United States and Britain, is reportedly imminent tonight, with strikes expected to begin somewhere in the coming hours. And this was earlier today, and that did indeed happen. Yeah. No, I've been saying that for a long time. So, I think that's exactly the key. But like I said, I just did a video on the war as it was breaking out. And if we hear any more during this time, I'm sure Cheese will message me, and I'll bring it up during the program. But we're gonna kind of move along, because I'm sure that's gonna happen. It does look pretty sexy. Some good news for once. NRA chief, the National Rifle Association, which is a fucking joke since Wayne LaPierre took over, and I ended my membership. So, oh, look at that. The trending just changed to World War III. World War III in Iran. Oh, F-22 is down. So we did lose an F-22. Since it's trending. They should, but it's all part of the plan. Probably. I wouldn't doubt that. But anyways, NRA Chief Wayne LaPierre says he's resigning days before trial, scrutinizing his leadership and spending. He pretty much gave up on everything. He was a piece of shit. I do not like Wayne LaPierre. I thought he was a terrible, terrible promotion. And, well, Congress will now declare war tomorrow. They haven't since 1944. So, I wouldn't count on it. Yeah. Since 1944. So, we'll continue on. This happened the other day. It seemed to be kind of a nothing burger, but it was in the news, so we'll cover it just briefly. North Korea has fired over 200 artillery shells near South Korea's Yingpyeong Island, prompting immediate evacuation orders. Residents numbering roughly 2,000 people living on the island have been instructed to seek shelter. I contend that any time that that happens, then there's probably an issue. I mean, good people shouldn't have to evacuate their homes randomly. But shit happens. So then you die. So basically, the people who claim Trump would crash the economy and start World War III have crashed the economy and started World War III. It checks out. Checks out. All right. So moving on. This was the other day. This was, I forget, the 5th or 6th, somewhere in there. We have another hundreds of pro-Palestine protesters bring the I-5 highway to a complete standstill, blocking all traffic. Complete standstill, blocking cars and other vehicles entering or leaving as they demanding a permanent end to all used military aid to Israel and a permanent ceasefire. Well, this is going to get out of hand because we're going to give more money to Israel. Not only that, we also notified Israel of our strike on Yemen and said we would back them in subsequent retaliatory attacks. So that tie just got deepened as well. So I'm seeing from a Houthi official, an American F-22 was shot down over Sana'a. I don't know how much I believe that. I truly don't. Oh, was it? Okay. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Da-da-da. That was the day Oxford debated Destiny. Oh, that fuck show? Gotcha. All right. So we're going to move on to this story. I am covering it because it was in the news. I have no idea what the hell it is. Let me just preface that before we even switch the page. I have no idea. I have no idea what the hell this is. And I have no intention of finding out. But it's been a big news story. So, riot unfolds as NYPD responds to discovery of underground tunnel network in Brooklyn Temple. Currently, numerous law enforcement are at the scene of a riot at the Chabad headquarters in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, where individuals tore wooden panels to prevent a cement truck from sealing off a recently discovered tunnel. Police intervened by ripping wooden panels to thwart the cement truck's actions. The underground tunnel secretly built by a group including members of the Jewish community about 6 months ago in an attempt to expand the iconic synagogue were the focal point. Despite police intervention, numerous people refused to vacate the tunnels, leading to the arrest of 10 individuals after a scuffle with the NYPD. Again, I have no idea what the fuck is going on here. I've heard a ton from Cheese about it. I don't have time or the care to learn, but I have no idea. I don't understand. I don't care to. So I was reading a little bit about this while that video was playing because I literally have zero interest in anything that's going on there. So there's been a back and forth with if the president had the power to unilaterally decide these airstrikes, and there's some yes and there's some no. So I trust the guy that actually published the fucking law. Absolutely violates the U.S. Constitution and 1973 War Powers Act. This could suck us into a war. Here's how the United States law requires the constitutional powers of the president as commander-in-chief to introduce the armed forces into hostilities or into situations where imminent involvement in hostilities is clearly indicated by the circumstances are exercised only pursuant to 1, declaration of war, 2, a specific statutory authorization, or 3, a national emergency created by an attack upon the United States, its territories or possessions, or its armed forces. Section 3, the president in every possible instance shall consult with Congress before introducing United States armed forces into hostilities. Twitter's obviously a cesspool, so there's a lot of back and forth fighting about this one. But you just, at some point, you have to assume that nobody knows what the hell they're talking about and just move on with your life. So that's what we're going to do this evening. We got us a war criminal. That's what it seems like. And that was my snap judgment is it doesn't seem like there should be authorization for this action because this action was not like there was no threat to the homeland. There was obviously no declaration of war. There was no, like, the reason why there could be retaliation after September 11th, obviously, is because there was an attack on the U.S. homeland. I thought that only applied to boots on the ground. I don't know. I am not versed well enough in it. I'm just saying my snap judgment is a sovereign country that we've never engaged with or not engaged with officially. And just to unilaterally decide to airstrike it and on a random Thursday when nothing happened. I understand there was attacks on boats and stuff, but those were more merchant vessels and not directly United States forces. Yeah, there was a couple harassment, some missiles shot at them, blah blah blah. But that's been happening for years. So, and 9/11 was Pearl Harbor, and we didn't declare war then. Yeah. So, do you think Sleepy Joe made the order as a smokescreen to forget the Epstein list or Hunter's cock-ups? Is that supposed to be cock-ups? Because I'm cool with it. I don't know, and I don't have enough, and I haven't read enough into it yet. Just my snap judgment and my thought and my thought process was, I don't think that there's authorization for this. Like, it seems like a very weak case as far as authorization for this kind of military action on a sovereign nation that we have no conflict or interest with. No, it won't. It won't. But Trump strikes were in hostile foreign nations that we already had conflict with. Trump strikes were in Iraq and Syria and stuff like that. They weren't all out bombing raids. Like this was a pretty sizable bombing mission. Like this was not a drone strike. These were pretty sizable. So ice strikes, but there was a standing conflict order with ISIS. So that's why we could hit them. and most of the time we got permission from the sovereign government to do it, or notified the sovereign government. So no, I think this is a bad movement. Bad movement. Exactly. I would think so. I think you have a pretty strong case for it, but all right. So moving on. Report: U.S. Army employee Janet Yanamanakana Mello has been indicted after she allegedly stole $100 million. Yes, that's correct. $100 million from the United States Army. It is insane, Mr. Rugg. Mello was reportedly able to gather $100 million with fraudulent paperwork before authorities noticed. Mello used the money to purchase millions of dollars of real estate, cars, jewelry, according to the Western District of Texas U.S. Attorney's Office. She reportedly purchased 31 properties, including a 58-acre property with 78 vehicles. Mello would file fraudulent paperwork asking for funding for her Child, Health, and Youth Lifelong Development organization to provide services to military members and their families. Prosecutors stated the scheme went on for 6 years. She is rightfully facing over 100 years in prison. That's true. Very many. But again, that's a foreign actor. That's not a military action. Like, that's all handled through the CIA. It's a civilian service, federal civilian service. It's a different law. Like, what we just did was use the United States military to bomb a sovereign nation without approval. Exactly. Buy some fucking gold like Bob Menendez did, allegedly. I guess he got caught too, though, right? Okay. So we're gonna move on to the next story. We're in our clown world or clown show, politics corner. I don't know. I like Jelly Roll before he was big, like before when he was on Strange Music with Nina Tech 9. His I Only Pray to God When I Need a Favor, that song, his new hit song. Good song, but he seems like he's probably pretty bad sold out. Yeah, that big. That was a major cock up. True. So Jelly Roll was testifying in Congress for some fentanyl legislation. So we'll listen to his testimony in Congress today.
I've attended more funerals than I care to share with y'all. This committee, I could sit here and cry for days about the caskets I've carried of people I loved dearly, deeply, in my soul, good people, not just drug addicts, uncles, friends, cousins, normal people. Some people that just got in a car wreck and started taking a pain pill to manage it. One thing led to the other. And how fast it spirals out of control, I don't think people truly understand. So many people. Equally, I think it's important for me to tell y'all that I'm not here to defend the use of illegal drugs. And I also understand the paradox of my history as a drug dealer standing in front of this committee. But equally, I think that's what makes me perfect to talk about this. I was a part of the problem. I am here now standing as a man that wants to be a part of the solution. I brought my community down. I hurt people. I was the uneducated man in the kitchen playing chemist with drugs I knew absolutely nothing about, just like these drug dealers are doing right now when they're mixing every drug on the market with fentanyl, and they're killing the people we love. I'll be honest with y'all, my desire is to only get older and only do better and be better. I believed when I sold drugs genuinely that selling drugs was a victimless crime. I truly believe that, y'all. My father always told me what doesn't get you in the wash will get you in the rinse. Now I have a 15-year-old daughter whose mother is a drug addict. Every day I get to look in the eyes of a victim in my household of the effects of drugs every single day. And every single day I have to wonder, me and my wife, if today will be the day that I have to tell my daughter that her mother became a part of the national statistic.
So that was the testimony by Jelly Roll. Like you said, it's different from what you would originally think, but I thought it was good testimony. I mean, and it makes sense. So, all right. So we do have some good news tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on the politics front. You heard it here first. Well, probably not, because it was like 3 fucking days ago. But Chris Christie just dropped out of the presidential race, and we have footage.
Oh, no.
Oh shit, that was the wrong footage. Wait, we do have footage. Fat ass Chris Christie. He probably dropped out with some promise from Hillary Clinton light or Nikki Haley. I mean, so here we go. Here's Chris dropping out of the race.
Campaigns are run to win. That's why we do them. I see the chairman here in New Hampshire. He knows we run campaigns to win. My goal has never been to be just a voice against the hate and the division and the selfishness of what our party has become under Donald Trump. It's also been to win the nomination and defeat Joe Biden and restore our party and our country to a new place of hope and optimism in this country. I've always said that if there came a point in time in this race where I couldn't see a path to accomplishing that goal, that I would get out. And it's clear to me tonight that there isn't a path for me to win the nomination, which is why I'm suspending my campaign tonight for President of the United States. I know,
no, don't do it.
I can
Chris.
see it from
I
some of
love
the faces
you.
here, that I'm disappointing some people by doing this. People who believe in our message and believe in what we've been doing. I also know, though, it's the right thing for me to do. Because I want to promise you this.
Oh,
I am going to make
no.
sure that in no
I
way
didn't do it.
do I enable Donald Trump to ever be president of the United States again. And that's more important than my own personal ambition.
Well, you lost that one too, brother.
So we have to.
All right, and this will be the last time that we talk about Chris Christie. Holy shit! One, that is a terrible image, Josh Chandler. That might be timeoutable. Two, hell no, that's gross. So just so we know, the candidates that we have left are Vivek Ramaswamy, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Hillary Clinton Haley, and Donald Trump. So apparently Christie, and not that this could have anything to do with it, but Christie slams Haley on hot mic. She's gonna get smoked. She's not up for this. We'll listen to Turbocharged Sandwich talk about it.
People don't want to hear it, Wayne. They don't want to hear it. We know we're right, but they don't want to hear it.
Right.
And there's, we couldn't have been any clearer.
Right.
We couldn't have been any more direct or worked any harder. So,
Let's not forget she spent $68 million.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh.
we spent like
Well, when you give land to
10.
China and places like that.
yeah,
if
that's what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, she spent 68 million so far, just on TV. Spent 68 million so far, 59 million by DeSantis, and we spent 12. I mean, who's punching above their weight and who's getting a return on their investment, And she's going to get smoked. And you and I both know it. She's not up to
Because
this.
she hasn't even been.
And she's still 20 points behind Trump in New Hampshire, right?
Yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah.
And he's still going to carry Iowa, right?
Yes. Oh, I talked to DeSantis called me, petrified that I would.
He's probably getting out after Iowa.
Well, people don't
So
want.
that's the hot mic. I think that's more likely the campaign started eating its food budget. Just couldn't raise that money to move and eat. Like obviously he has to conserve his calories because he's a very large man. I haven't heard any indication. I'm sure that it probably had some impact. I don't know how it wouldn't, especially since she's the Republican sweetheart right now. But yeah, that's what I was thinking. No one can punch above Crisco's weight. My God, Mike Tyson can't punch above Crisco's weight. All right. Speaking of Nikki Haley, she is going hard against Trump right now. So this is so those who didn't know, last night there was a Republican presidential debate. I made the executive decision not to cover it because one, we've seen far too many. Two, it was just Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, so I didn't want to sit through it. Donald Trump did a town hall separate. It was okay. There wasn't a ton in there. So I don't know. But yeah, so there's a couple clips we're gonna play out of that debate with DeSantis, and this is one of them.
Is to protect the U.S. Constitution. 2 years after losing the 2020 election, Donald Trump wrote on social media about his baseless election lies.
No, I said
quote,
Vivek.
a massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows.
No, I definitely said Vivek. Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, and Donald Trump. I'm sorry. I did too, but
For the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution, unquote. On that subject, former Vice President Mike Pence has said that on January 6, 2021, Donald Trump put himself over the Constitution. Governor Haley, is there any meaningful difference in how you and Donald Trump view the Constitution?
I mean, look, you take an oath to the Constitution, and I think what you're seeing is Donald Trump basically said that the election was stolen. He went on and on talking about the election being stolen. He said that January 6th was a beautiful day. I think January 6th was a terrible day, and we should never want to see that happen again. And I think we have to always be strong on the fact that, look, we want fair elections, and we saw some discrepancies in those elections in 2020 that should be concerning. That's why I passed voter ID in South Carolina. That's why I think when absentee ballots go out, you should be able to verify signatures. That's why I think ballots need to be counted on election day, and you should get results on election day. But that election, Trump lost it. Biden won that election. And the idea that he's gone and carried this out forever to the point that he's going to continue to say these things to scare the American people are wrong. We've seen a lot of states come together and do more election integrity bills. We need to do more than that. We still have 3 or 4 states that I'm worried about that don't have that. But at the end of the day, I will always defend and fight for the Constitution. That's what we should do as Americans. I think what happened on January 6th was a terrible day, and I think President Trump will have to answer for it.
So just a clarification.
Let me be the first to say, fuck you, Nikki Haley. You are never going to become president of the United States. You warmongering bitch. Okay, I feel better. Moving on. I decided to break up the Haley clips because nobody wants to do that. Exactly. That's true. All right, so this is a weird story, too. So for those of you who don't know, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin allegedly went in for a routine surgery. He then claimed that because they have communications, he's the Secretary of Defense. He's kind of important when we're in conflicts. So his staffers reported that he was working from home in the DC area, and apparently the check-in only, like the system of checking in only broke down the area that we were in, not the state or anything else. There was no, because it's kind of ridiculous. It turns out he has complications. He has some kind of cancer, and he's been at Walter Reed Medical Center, hospitalized. So he's been without a Secretary of Defense for, I don't remember how long, but it's a considerable amount of time. During this, the second in command, or the person that would take over his duties, was in the Caribbean on vacation, and this was never communicated. So the second in command didn't know they were in command. Floyd Austin was out of commission. So we essentially had nobody in the Defense Department that was running anything at all. You need the Secretary of Defense to attack a sovereign nation without provocation, right? I would believe so. I would think it would be kind of odd to do it without him. So the next three are going to be, it's going to be John Kirby, it's going to be General Ryder, and then John, well, no, wait. Yeah, and then an update from John Kirby. I had to check.
Thank you for all the detail on that. But more broadly, why should we believe anything that this administration tells us about anything ever again?
I think we all recognize, and I think the Pentagon has been
He's doing a
very,
cynical
very honest
hand
with
wringing.
themselves about the challenge to credibility by what has transpired here, and by how hard it was for them to be fully transparent with the American people. I think we all recognize that. And wait, now just give me a second now. I know you got another one coming here, but we all recognize that this didn't unfold the way it should have on so many levels, not just the notification process up the chain of command, but the transparency issue. We all recognize that.
Stop moving your fucking
and I think
hands.
we all
It's
want to make
weird.
sure we learn from that. It's up to you
me
and
out,
your
brother.
colleagues, and it's up to the American people to determine, how much they're going to ascribe what happened here to our credibility on every single issue. But in every way, Secretary Austin has been an exceptional defense secretary, and he still has
That's his
the full
resting
faith and
shit
confidence of the
face.
commander in chief. He has led the department at an incredibly dangerous time for our national security interests and those of our allies and partners.
But if the administration is going to go to such great lengths to keep secrets about the defense secretary's health, how can anybody be certain that the administration would not go to the same lengths to keep secret problems with President Biden's health in the future?
If you could logically argue, and you can't, but if you could logically argue that the
Mhm.
wait,
81 years old.
wait a second. Just give me a second
What's
here, bub.
there-
I'll get there. If the administration
If somebody in a professional capacity ever called me bub, I would probably walk up and smack the shit out of them.
made some sort of Machiavellian effort across the board to keep this from getting public, then I think your question has merit and certainly is a fair one. I don't think it's a fair one because that's not what happened here, Peter. What happened here is the Secretary of Defense, for whatever reason, I can't answer the question why, that information wasn't shared. It wasn't shared widely in the department, and it certainly wasn't shared with the
You guys
interagency.
didn't know. Isn't
It's
that
not.
worse?
It's not good. It's certainly not good. Which is why, again, we want to learn from this. We want to make sure that it doesn't happen again.
Nazi fags.
Former vice president said it, not me. So this is General Patrick Ryder. I think everybody should be removed in this situation, just for the record. But
will help us. Let me go to Courtney.
Do you still think it's appropriate to call his medical procedure on December 22nd the prostatectomy elective medical procedure if it was treating prostate cancer?
So I'm gonna defer to medical officials on this. Again, this is the we released this information as soon as we had it. And so, again, I'm going to refer back to the statement, and, going forward, we'll use that as the baseline in terms of describing. But, in this particular case, as soon as we had the information made available to us, we provided it to you.
It seems frankly like you were deceived by telling everyone that it was an elective medical procedure and by telling that to the public. I mean, it doesn't seem elective if he had prostate cancer and this was treating it.
Yeah, I'm not a medical professional. Again, we're going to try to provide you with the most information we have as quickly as we have it, and recognizing that as I say that, we could have done a better job last week. So, again, we have this information now from these medical professionals. And I think that, it will go a long way in terms of helping to understand the situation and what needs to be done going forward.
And when was President Biden notified that the secretary was diagnosed with prostate cancer?
I'd have to refer you to the White House. I just don't know. Natasha.
999.
And the last clip is again from John Kirby talking about how they're not going to put GPS trackers in people or in the defense secretary. They'll put them in people, I'm sure, if they're effective, safe and effective.
Thank you, Admiral. On Monday, you told one of my colleagues that the Situation Room's ability to track where cabinet members are is, in your words, generic, limited to the city they're in. That seems to be in line with Cold War era capabilities where principals in the line of succession had to call in their location to the central locator system that FEMA runs. Are you saying that in 2024, when I have a phone in my pocket that can be pinged to locate me within a couple of feet, or I could get the same kind of capability for my dog if I want, that we don't have a way of knowing where each person in the line of succession is without them having to tell the Situation Room or FEMA or whoever is in charge of tracking their locations?
I do not have a different answer to you today than I did to your colleague on Monday. There is a process by which cabinet officials and their location is tracked by the Situation Room. There is a check-in every morning where their general location is known and logged and reported.
Their general location. Each of these principles is issued, I assume, is issued a mobile phone. I'm sure you have one. I know Karine has one.
Let me stop you right there. We're not going to track the GPS coordinates on somebody's mobile phone in the administration, and we're not going to plant a microchip in their neck like they're a poodle. They check in every day, and we know where they are, and I leave it at that.
But the problem is with Secretary Austin, you didn't know where he was. You didn't know where he was for days, and you're telling me that these daily check-ins are the best that can be done at this point?
We had no indication that he was outside the DC area. Now, it's true, we didn't know he was hospitalized. And I've said repeatedly that that's a problem. That should not happen again. That if a cabinet official becomes hospitalized or has to be seen for medical help, certainly to the degree where the authority has to be delegated, that the White House needs to know. And Karine has talked about the memo that Mr. Zients put out advising cabinet agencies to review those protocols. We'll get better at this. We'll learn from this. Pardon?
Why a poodle?
Oh, I don't know. I don't have anything against poodles.
I'm just teasing. Okay.
Yeah, just mock it and make fun of it. The United States was completely unprotected for God knows how long. Just mock it. It's cool. What's up, Thule Pip? How you doing? If you recently ate, I wouldn't have. Here we go. Here's everybody's favorite Representative Nancy Pelosi talking about Joe Biden.
Joe Biden has done a remarkable job as president of the United States. Just around 14 million jobs, maybe more by now with the latest report. Lowest unemployment, cut it in half. The path of inflation going down. He has been remarkable, and he has done it in a way that has justice, social, economic, environmental justice in every way.
Send it to me on Discord, Bobby. You're right. Okay, so if that one didn't do it for you, here's Jill talking about how unfair we're being to Hunter. Poor little Hunter. Poor little Hunter.
How have you been coping personally with the onslaught of accusations against your husband and your family, including and especially Hunter? It's the focus of a House Oversight Committee hearing, holding him in contempt, obsessing over him, showing pictures
obsessing
of
over
him during vulnerable
poor little
moments in
Hunter.
his battle with addiction on the floor of the House. This would crush any family.
Mika, I think what they are doing to Hunter is cruel. And I'm really proud of how Hunter has rebuilt his life after addiction. You know, I love my son, and it's hurt my grandchildren. And that's what I'm so concerned about, that it's affecting their lives as well.
How have you been coping?
Gross. All right, let's watch some of the man himself. And as you know, the New York City fraud trial is still going on. Trump's getting railroaded there as well. And so this is him, and then we'll watch his attorney speak after. His Uncle Donnie.
Thank you very much. We just had a very good session. The lawyer said that there was absolutely nothing done wrong. These were all great loans. The bank got the loans. They got paid. The banks were in perfect condition. The bankers were extremely happy with these loans. They made a lot of money with the loans. There were no defaults. There were no problems. This is just an attorney general that hates Donald Trump and wanted to run for governor, wanted to run for attorney general. And it's a shame. I think she should be criminally liable.
Damn.
She did this to Exxon, and they drove Exxon out of New York. Exxon paid billions
Thank
of
you,
dollars
Dog
in
Mama.
taxes. They're now living in Texas. Exxon is
Oh.
very happy in Texas. Other companies, because of what's happening here, are going to be moving out of New York also. This is an out-of-control attorney general. She's totally out of control. These loans were all good. The banks were extremely happy with me. They still are. We built a great company. We have a company that's very liquid, very strong, great assets. And she sued me because she wanted the publicity to run for office, but they find nothing wrong. And I think if anybody was being fair about it, and I'm not sure you can even hear me because they don't allow microphones over here, which is really ridiculous. But if anybody's fair about it, you see this is a case that should have never been brought, and I think we should be entitled to damages. Thank you. I'll be back.
Mr. Trump, what's your reaction to your name being removed from the Trump list?
Okay, so that's Donnie, Uncle Donnie, and then here's his lawyer, Alina Habab.
Good afternoon. Let's remember that before I walked into court,
God, the video quality sucks tonight on X.
that was clear with his motion for summary judgment. Before witnesses, before experts, and do I think any of it mattered? I certainly hope so. But for anybody that was in the courtroom for the last 11 weeks, you heard that there was not one fact against President Trump. There was not one piece of paper that showed anyone committed fraud. And don't forget that Section 6312, a consumer fraud statute, has been wrongfully used against my client, innocent defendants, the organization, and every employee of the Trump organization, which has single-handedly changed the New York skyline, including the building we are in today. These are special properties. Real estate is an art, not a science. But you know what else is an art? You know what else isn't a science? Political motivated individuals. She's using this to paint a canvas that Donald Trump is a fraudster because they can't beat him in the polls. They can't beat him in the polls, so she ran on Trump because that was the only way she could win. And now today, after 11 weeks, after 3 years, we have concluded that he indeed committed no wrong. The Trump organization committed no wrong, and the kids have been dragged in just like the other defendants, and it is wrong. America needs to step up, and there's only one person who can do that. My client, Donald Trump. President Trump, everybody.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, we all knew that was a sham from the very beginning. complete and utter garbage. She does seem to be really good. Oh no, the poor mustache, it might freeze off. Agreed. I know nothing about what this is, but this is happening. This happened this morning. Haven't had a chance to read a ton into it, but tens of thousands of Polish patriots have taken to the streets in Warsaw to protest the illegal jailing of 2 conservative MPs by globalist puppet Tusk. Probably going to be the next one to be brought into a war, but as you can see, there's good-sized protests. So I don't know what that's about, but I'll keep my eyes out. So, it's Poland. They elected ex-EU President Tusk, and this is a backlash. Oh shit! It exactly, and that was my next point. Is it seems like everything has some tension, everything has some there's friction, and with everything, and we're probably pretty close to shit really going down. Polish J6ers. That's awesome. All right, let's go to Mr. Penguin next. Can you believe this shit? Listen to this.
And we need immigrants in this country. Forget the fact that the farm that our vegetables would rot in the ground if they weren't being picked by many immigrants, many illegal immigrants. The fact is that the birth rate in this country is way below replacement level, which means our population is going to start shrinking. And the ratio of people on Social Security and Medicare is going to increase relative to the number of people supporting them.
So you heard it. All the climate change hypocrisy bullshit is now switching because we're under replacement theory. No shit, Mr. Penguin. No shit. We've been telling you that. Also, apparently our fruits and vegetables wouldn't get picked if there weren't illegal migrants. 6 today. 6. Yes. Yep. A Democrat advocating for slavery. It's weird. It is. It is, unfortunately. Hopefully you can get it right the next time around, though. Because, I mean, there would be another system of government. It's not going to be the end of the world. It might be the end of our current system. This is interesting, this next story. And I want to get you guys' thoughts on it. Actually, I might even throw up a poll. Let me write a poll, because we know I can't talk and write. How does it not show me my shit? That's so... It doesn't even recommend my own channel. Or show my own channel. Alright, so we're going to start a poll. Very simple, yes or no. Will Rand Paul be Donald Trump's next vice presidential pick? There's a lot of things going back and forth. Trump says he's already picked this guy. And I will play this message by Rand Paul, who was allegedly going to be one of the people on the short list for Donald Trump's vice president.
Hey, everybody. As you know, I've been pretty quiet about the presidential race, which is kind of unusual for me. But tune in tomorrow morning, and I've got something very important to say on the presidential race.
I think it's an interesting message. I think it's an interesting pick. I don't know who it brings in voter wise, but it's not the worst person he could pick. not the worst person. So one more vote, and then I'll end the poll. He actually said he is interested in being VP. Supposedly, yeah. I'm horrible at multitasking unless preconditioned. Josh, I can usually multitask pretty well. I cannot type and talk. It's just a disconnect in my brain that I just cannot get over. No, I forgot his name. Dan, help me out, y'all. Dan Crenshaw. I got it. Dan Crenshaw is the eye patch wearer. All right, we got there. Pretty close on the poll. 55% say 54. It's 55. 55% say no. 45% say yes. So there's been some. The short list I've heard was going to be Kristi Noem, Rand Paul, or Tucker Carlson, Vivek Ramaswamy. Like those are some of the names that I know have been linked to the job. Vivek said he wants to win and he wouldn't take it. I think he's doing it for PR anyways. Then you have obviously Paul, who I think would be a good pick. Kristi Noem sounds good, but I wish you would wait and run for president almost. And Tucker Carlson, I don't think you're not going to pick up the middle ground with Tucker, especially now since he's doing his uncensored on X or whatever. I don't think you're going to gain anybody out of it. I feel like he needs to pick up some of those centrist voters for the general. So, yeah. Carrie Lake would have been a good one. I haven't heard her link to it at all. Yeah, that's it. Tucker's also said no to that, and I don't think it really helps. So, yeah, I could see that, but I think that's what they want to happen. So people keep projecting it on. Not me personally. I don't know. I think he might be probably one of the better ones for the job, but we'll see. Not a good one for the job. Mayorkas. So here's his press conference on the border while he's having active impeachment hearings.
Most of the migrants that we spoke to,
For doing a shit
specifically
job.
in December, they come with no address to go to, and they're coming because they're being released. What are the consequences that are going to be taken with these migrants that are being released, and especially the ones that are coming because they see that it's easy to get here?
Well, first of all, I would take issue with your characterization that it is easy to get to the United States. I think we all know very well the perilous journey that migrants take in the hands of ruthless smugglers who don't care about their well-being. They care only about making a profit. That perilous journey has been reported and has been shared with us as Border Patrol agents interview migrants. It is very important to understand that when an individual is released, they are released into immigration enforcement proceedings where they can make a claim under the laws that Congress has passed. And if their claim does not succeed, they are removed and they are subject to a 5-year ban on admission. We have returned, removed, or expelled an extraordinary number of individuals, and we will continue to do so as we enforce the laws.
Nobody buys your bullshit. I think he's doing a great job at what his job is. I think his job is to make it unsecure and allow everybody and their brother in. He can't be that shitty at his job. He just can't. It's been terrible. So speaking of immigrants, so here's some more people from the inner cities, specifically Chicago, once again talking about illegal immigrants. And
politically, having over 500 people in our community would completely wipe out any interest we have. Are you aware that there are immigrant advocates at state houses all over this country who are advocating for non-citizen voting in local elections? What if that happened here? That would change the mindset of what we as a Black community need to thrive here in Chicago. That's a concern of ours. This is much bigger than the mayor of Chicago or Chicago Police Department. This is an effort to destroy our neighborhoods and silence our voices even further. Politically, having over
kind of self-serving there, but I appreciate the fact that they're waking up and saying, you know, oh yeah, they want to go that far with it. If you're here, basically you can vote. So that's true. All right. And here's what Based Uncle Donnie is saying about the border and sanctuary cities and illegals.
We have millions and millions of people here. It is not sustainable. Did you see in New York City where they're getting the regular students out and they're putting migrants in their place? We are going to have the largest deportation effort in the history of our country. We're bringing everybody back to where they came from. We have no choice.
Can you do something about the sanctuary cities?
Yeah. Well, they're going to be ended because the Democrats are going to end them because you can't sustain it. If you look at New York, you have a mayor of New York who now is really hostile to the administration because New York City, that's my place. I love New York. It's gone. It's had a tough time. We have millions and millions of people here.
Okay. Sorry. Let it play twice. So yeah, we have to do something different. There has to be something done that's different. We cannot continue to just bang our head against the wall and do the same damn thing over and over again. It's getting out of control, and we got to stand up and we got to do something different. And this mass illegal migration absolutely has to end. Absolutely has to end. It's insane. Absolutely freaking insane. Well, trying to figure out which one to do next. Yeah, we'll start off with that one because I don't want to move it over there. All right. So next up, this is the one that I was talking about earlier with the whole war thing kicking off, and I'm concerned about the number of people that have entered our country illegally and the cells and the individuals that might already be here. This is John Kirby. This is today, and he's talking about risks of striking Americans. So we'll listen in and then.
So Politico reports that according to U.S. officials, there is a rising risk of Hezbollah striking Americans in the Middle East or here in the United States. So is there anything you can say about that? Has the threat environment changed in that regard?
I would just say that we're constantly monitoring reports coming out of the region. We're certainly monitoring as best we can reports coming out of Lebanon, and mindful of the increased tensions there at that northern border between Israel and southern Lebanon. We don't want to see the conflict escalate. We haven't seen Hezbollah take steps to do that in any meaningful way in terms of like really coming to the assistance of Hamas. And as for threats to American citizens, I'm not going to get into intelligence assessments from here. I would just tell you that we watch this very, very closely, and we will do everything we can to make sure that Americans traveling overseas have the information that they need to be safe.
Anyways, so let me get this right. People who are citizens who have been in prison can't vote, but people who come here illegally can. Yes. One group that broke the law can vote. The other group that broke the law can't vote. It's fucking crazy at this point. Exactly. Right. So moving on. This was a joke, allegedly. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but because it's in the video, but we got a good shot. Hot Mike catches journalist joke about Trump assassination. That's another thing I called. If there is an election, I believe that they will 100% assassinate Donald Trump. They cannot let him win. They cannot let him become president again.
You know, the worst part is, even if he has his and he's hanging out of it, he'll be on the other side of the I mean, if he's driving, we've got a good shot. Yeah, if he's driving with the front window open. Yeah. Or if it's a convertible. Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't thinking about that. Yeah. Like if he just pulls up like JFK. It's like a JFK, a looping. Maybe someone, just like they told JFK, you know what you should do? You should take a convertible. It's so nice out.
Yes, Bobby, in front of the cops. And if there were cops and they were filming the president from that close, I am certain that there was Secret Service either within earshot or very, very close. And that's the state of this country. You can make jokes like that about killing President Trump, and no one even bats an eye. It is disgusting. I think so too. I still contend that if there is an election, which I don't think there will be, but I think if there is, I think they will eliminate Donald Trump. And that makes me sad, but I feel like that's going to happen. Yeah, I think there's a legitimate threat on his life at this point. So you might see it stepped up. I know. Me too. Here's a advertisement for the former Vice President of the United States, Joseph Robinette Biden. And yeah, enjoy. Shit, I don't remember if it was Stingy or Bobby. Somebody sent me this clip. And thank you. Thank you. Oh, they don't even love America. They just love the handouts and the bullshit. But they don't care about America. They totally. Oh, then it must have been Stingy then. Thank you, Stingy.
At White House Senior Living, our residents feel right at home. Our vibrant facility offers delightful activities and outings, round-the-clock professional care, and exquisite house-made meals.
Well, I've been eating everything that's put in front of me. I've been eating all Italian food, basically.
And ice cream.
And ice cream, chocolate chip ice cream.
White House Senior Living, where residents feel like presidents.
White House Senior Living for the resident in chief. I'm only going to read the headline because you guys know about this, and plus I don't want to talk about this asshole anymore today. Hunter Biden pleads not guilty in federal courtroom in Los Angeles. This was regarding the tax evasion charges that his plea deal then got rid of. So, moving along, gang. Remember those aforementioned migrants we were talking about? How they pick cotton or something like that. I don't know. Gang of migrants storm Manhattan Bloomingdale's, steal high-end sunglasses. That's going to feed their families. Group of approximately 15 illegal immigrants reportedly stormed into Bloomingdale's in Manhattan, attempting to loot a collection of high-end Versace, Dior, and Prada designer sunglasses valued at $5,300, according to the New York Post. The incident unfolded shortly before 6:30 on Saturday as the migrants targeted the upscale Midtown retailer, swiftly snatching over a dozen pairs of expensive sunglasses before attempting to flee, the Post reported. An alert police officer on paid detail at the store managed to apprehend one of the culprits, identified as 23-year-old Stephen Matos. Meadows now faces charges of robbery, criminal possession of stolen property, possession of burglar tools, and resisting arrest in connection with the incident. He's probably already out and free. Although some of the stolen glasses were recovered by police, the majority of individuals successfully evaded capture. Approximately 70,000 migrants are currently being accounted and provided for by the city. Some 162,000 migrants have entered the 5 boroughs from the U.S. border since the spring of 2022. Probably. Yeah, just call up Juan. Tell him you want 1 or 2 pair. Anyways, breaking. I think this one is legitimate breaking. Oh shit, this was the older one. Reports of suicidal man sets fire at Target store. Shit, I just said it. In Minecraft, currently reports of numerous law enforcement and emergency personnel are on the scene in Aurora, Ohio, responding to a fire at a Target store, reportedly started by a Clintonicidal male. The sprinkler system has been activated, and at this moment, uncertainty persists regarding any injuries. Authorities are actively working to manage the incident and gather more information. And we don't have any updates, so nobody died. Good night, Tuli. All right. This is going to shock you guys. Like, you're going to be so shocked and so relieved. January 6th, defendant Ray Epps sentenced to probation. Prosecutors advocated for a 6-month prison term for Epps. They argued that Epps' actions during January 6 events warranted incarceration, emphasizing that while he did not deserve threats, he deserves a period of imprisonment. During the sentencing hearing, Epps informed the judge that Fox News played a role in shaping his belief and that the election was stolen. He is currently pursuing legal action against Fox News, alleging the network and Tucker Carlson propagated the theory by portraying him as a federal agent. Oh, God, it just gets better and better. Better and better. Fuck that guy. I know. Breaking. Nah, this isn't breaking either. This was a couple days ago. Never mind. See, now I'm all self-conscious about the breaking digger. An unauthorized vehicle has crashed into the White House grounds gate. Numerous law enforcement along with Secret Service personnel are on the scene at the White House grounds in Washington, D.C. after an unauthorized vehicle crashed into the northwest side of the White House grounds gate. An investigation into a suspicious package is underway. Officials are now reporting that 1 individual has been detained. This is just stock footage. There's nothing there. But here are the photos taken by Penguin 6 of the vehicle that crashed into the barrier. Shit, was he a Fed too? Looks like a Fed car. What do you guys think? Fed? No Fed? All right. Moving on. Bills fan killed outside Dolphin Stadium after Sunday's game. Following an altercation with a driver described as driving erratically and allegedly involved in striking a pedestrian, a 30-year-old man, Dylan Isaacs, was shot and killed as he was leaving Sunday's Miami Dolphins game, police say. The incident just unfolded just before midnight on Sunday near Northwest 27th Avenue in Miami Gardens, approximately a mile away from Hard Rock Stadium. Officers responded to a call reporting 1 person shot, discovering Dylan Isaacs suffering from an apparent gunshot wound upon their arrival. Despite the response from the Miami-Dade Fire Rescue, Isaacs was pronounced dead at the scene. Isaacs, a Bills fan, from Six Nations Canada had attended the Dolphins versus Buffalo Bills game with friends. Wait, Six Nations? They have six now? This is mainly for my research purposes, but
I will never apologize for standing up for an LGBTQ2 plus kids' rights.
yeah, I thought it was two nations. Now it's six? Damn. And as Isaacs and his friend were making their way back to their car after the game, an altercation ensued between Isaacs and the other driver of the Honda Accord, who is allegedly driving recklessly and had struck a pedestrian, according to Miami Gardens police. The situation escalated when the driver brandished a gun, firing shots that struck Isaacs. Subsequently, the driver has fled the scene. So, don't go to a Miami football game. That's what I heard. Trigger warning. We got some bad ones today. Well, we got some good ones and then some bad ones. Well, I mean, good one. No, we're gonna start with a bad one, then go to good ones, and then go to terrible ones. So, your discretion, trigger warning, blah blah blah. Are those doors reinforced and enhanced? There we go. No, I'm gonna do the mid one first, and then the good one, the good two. Well, D's is good too. Texas rapper accused of kidnapping woman holding her captive for 4 years in his garage. Now, how the fuck do you... Sorry. How the fuck do you get stuck in somebody... Like, how does somebody hold you in the garage for 4 years? A Houston rapper identified as Lee Carter. You know, I'm gonna look up his music. Has been accused of kidnapping. Kidnapping. Odd. I'm typing. Oh, it's all just his fucking trial. I want his rap. Oh, he's just as bad as Brooks. And it for like 3 seconds. Oh, that is a bad green screen. That shit is lit. That is lit. Anyways, accused of kidnapping a homeless woman and holding her captive in his garage for an extended period, reportedly spanning at least 4 years. The woman managed to gain access to the suspect's computer, allowing her to contact authorities for rescue. That's what I'm saying, Bobby. The arrest on charge of felony aggravated kidnapping took place on Thursday, according to court records and Carter's attorney, despite the woman being discovered in April. Records do not provide clear reasons for the 9-month delay in the suspect's arrest. Carter, 52, boasted a $100,000 bond, probably from his rap career. I could see that. On Sunday, securing his release from Harris County Jail by Monday. Yeah. Like, yeah. Yeah. I have no idea. The whole situation seems kind of fucky. All right. Deez, are you here, buddy? You're the court docs. Missouri high school teacher charged with rape of her student. Victim's father covered up. Oh, this is the one that Ozzy did. Never mind. I thought this was a different one. Never mind. This is the one where she was 16 or whatever, or he was 16. Yeah. And they were in a relationship and dad covered. Yeah, screw that. We'll go to this one. 26-year-old high school teacher accused of touching and intercourse with male. Still smash? Tazzer? Arkansas, a teacher for Cross Country County High School identified as 26-year-old Kara Lee has been arrested on charges of engaging in intercourse with a student. Cross County Sheriff Dave West revealed that the arrest of Kara Lee took place on January 4 following an investigation by Crimes Against Kids. The inquiry focused on incidents that transpired in November and December of 23. Evidence uncovered during the investigation indicated that Lee had participated in inappropriate physical touching and intercourse with a student. This week we're going to be blah, blah, blah. Oh, this is just a social media post. As per online records, Kara Lee was booked into Cross County Detention Center at 10:01 a.m. on Thursday, January 4th, facing 3 counts of assault and 1 count of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Subsequently, she was released. Was that an hour and 56 minutes later? In December 23, Cross County school administrators received information that an employee engaged in inappropriate conduct towards a student. The district investigated and reported the allegation to the Arkansas Child Maltreatment Hotline. The employee has since resigned. The Cross County School District has a zero tolerance policy for inappropriate relationships between educators and students and will continue using its best efforts to provide students with a safe and healthy educational environment. This one kind of seems like an overreach. It doesn't say that there was anything. What the hell is that? I don't know what that is. Oh, gross. All right, I'm gonna watch that after. Oh, it's Desiree. Yeah, I don't know. This one's a weird one. It doesn't even sound like there was anything. So here's the trigger ones. Now we're into the bad ones. Wyoming worship leader said he gave in to temptation before flushing child in Florida, says police. Polk County, and that's him, Santa Claus looking motherfucker. Polk County, Florida. A 69-year-old Wyoming man who is a worship and church youth group leader has been charged by the Polk County Sheriff's Office with lewd, I can't say that word, a first-degree felony. The Riverton Police Department took Richard Shaw into custody for the Polk County warrant and booked him into Fremont County Jail. In December 23, Shaw visited Lakeland, Florida when he returned back to Wyoming. The Polk County victim disclosed to her mother that Shaw had inappropriately touched her underneath and over top of her clothing while he was there. The mother called and spoke to Shaw, who admitted to touching someone under 12. Fuck you, dude. Shaw is a worship leader at Under Command Ministries in Fremont County, Wyoming, and works as a youth ministry as well. PCSO detectives notified Fremont County Sheriff's Office, who conducted their own investigation to determine if Shaw has victimized any kids there with whom he is in contact. PCSO detectives learned that Shaw works at or is affiliated with other churches in the area, and further investigation by Wyoming authorities is ongoing. Yep. Mm-hmm. Fried pickles. PCSO detectives interviewed Shaw, who told them he has an addiction to pornography and that when he touched the Lakeland victim, he gave in to temptation. He was placed under arrest in Wyoming on January 4th, 24, and will be extradited to Polk County after that date. We are working with Wyoming law enforcement to determine if the suspect victimized any other kids. We sincerely hope not. This man should never be allowed to have access to children again. Grady Judd did it? Oh, shit. Let's see if he has anything on him. What the hell's his name? Richard Shaw? Let me see if I can't find him. I'm starting to think it might be a setup, though. Why the hell would people still go to fucking Polk County for real? If that was it. Shit. Found it.
Save people's lives by taking that much fentanyl off of the street and holding those people accountable. But we also were protecting lives.
He did it before,
in these
probably.
operations, and I wanted to highlight a series of arrests that we've made of people in a position of public trust.
Jesus.
Now, the community is always supposed to be able to trust school teachers, nurses, doctors, law enforcement officers to do the right thing under every circumstance, ministers, people taking care of other people's children. So here's how the new year greeted us. I want to introduce you to Brian Adams. He's 33 years of age. He is a high school teacher, or was at Kathleen High School, where he taught math and geometry. He had an aide that was in high school, and this aide was invited to come live with Brandon and his wife. And Brandon engaged in consensual sex with this young lady while she was a student and he was a teacher. He was also the varsity basketball coach.
Yeah, Grady's pretty good.
Superintendent Hyde has clearly shown his frustration and his disgust with his arrest, but the reality of it is, once again, we've got a school teacher in a position of authority over a student and is engaged in sex with a student. We are doing everything we can to provide services for the young lady, and certainly Brandon Adams will be held accountable. He was booked in the jail and has been released. Well, on the very same day, we were working an investigation, and we caused the arrest of Richard Shaw, who's 69 in Riverton, Wyoming. Richard Shaw, on January the 4th, was taken into custody by the authorities there, working with us. He is a worship leader at a church, and he's also the children's leader. The name of the church is Under Command Ministries, and he's charged with 2 counts of lewd molestation on a child under 12 years of age. He had been here in Polk County over the Christmas holidays. In fact, had spent 9 days here, and while here, molested a very young child. We started this investigation, and we've discovered at least one other person that in the past history he has molested as a child. The Fremont County authorities are currently screening and asking for anyone else who may be a victim of this person or their parents to come forward. He apparently has been in ministry, in children's ministry or youth ministry at several churches in the Wyoming area. But he's under arrest and in custody in Riverton, Wyoming, and he'll be extradited here. And certainly we anticipate that he's going to face charges in Wyoming as well. When asked during the course of the investigation, should we trust you with a child? He said, no, I wouldn't. This guy is an evil person. Anyone that would lay their hands on very young children. He is a pedophile. He is a child predator. He is very dangerous. And we have him locked up where he cannot hurt children. So that was January the 4th, fresh back from Christmas and New Year's holidays. And we go, well, what else can happen? Well, here's what else can happen. This is Skylar Reddy. He's 20 years of age. He's from Fort Meade. He's the Frostproof juvenile baseball coach, or he was. He is not a teacher of the school at the school. However, he was in a dating relationship with a student at Frostproof High School when he was a student there. Now, as I understand that he's a basketball player, or was, for Warner University, that's what I'm told. And he's also the juvenile basketball coach, or was, at Frostproof. Well, he continued to communicate with a student at Frostproof High School. And during some of the written communications, he suggested that they continue to have sex, and in fact sent a threatening letter to her if she was in a relationship with anyone else. He has been arrested and he's bonded out of jail. He is also in an authority position at the school, even though not long ago he was a student with this person and dating this person. He's now in a position of authority at the school and is continuing on with some outrageous communications and even a threatening communication. So he's been arrested. I want to make it abundantly clear. The school board probably employs 13,000 people. Those school teachers are my heroes. They go to school every day to teach our young people the right way to behave. And also they give them the education opportunities so that they can grow. Our teachers are wonderful, wonderful people. But let me underscore, we are not ever going to allow what I call rogue individuals, very small numbers of rogue individuals out of a total of 13,000 wonderful teachers to do such things. And then it is beyond my comprehension how a 69-year-old man who's supposed to be a Christian and a leader in the church and a leader of children and a leader of people is molesting children, young children, less than 12 years of age. We will, in every instance, hold these people accountable, and we will work with the state attorney's office to ensure that they don't have access to children and are they're held accountable because of their leadership role or their authority role, and at the same time use that authority role inappropriately and outrageously. Is there any questions?
Sheriff, you mentioned these people, they're in positions of power. Can you just talk about the importance of these victims, speaking out and kind of putting that power? Yeah.
It's remarkable to me that we receive total cooperation from the victims and from their families in every case. And I am grateful for that. But when we take positions of power and or authority, then what we as society do is trust our children, our grandchildren into their hands to teach them the right way, to coach them the right way, to do the right thing. That's an awesome responsibility. It's a remarkable responsibility. And legally, they have the responsibility to always do what's right. when it comes to students under their care or children in church under their care. That didn't happen in these cases. I want you to make sure that you always have clear lines of communications with your children so that if anyone is inappropriately touching them or grooming them, that they feel comfortable to speak with you so that you can report them to us. And I'll promise you, my detectives who work in my unit, my SUV unit or SVU unit, will absolutely hold those folks accountable. They are the best at what they do. They know how to interact and make great cases, even when the children are very, very young. We send them to the best training to make sure that our detectives can build the best case with the state attorney's office so that we can protect the children. We will always, always consider protecting children as our number one priority here at the sheriff's office. Children are young, they're innocent, they should be safe from those that want to prey upon them, and we're going to ensure that occurs. And we also know that the parents have been great about working with us because.
All right. He's always a good watch, but I'm gonna move on. Pretty sure Neo just doxed himself. Herself. I don't know. Yeah. Absolutely. Take some accountability for things like that because it's never okay. This one is extra. This next one is extra fucked up, and I can't actually say anything that's involved in this. So I found a Fox news report, like a short video. Austin, Texas. Damn. Yeah, like hyper trigger warning. Like this one's a bad one. 7 men essay toddler and film it in a public restroom at a high-end mall.
Toddlers were allegedly sexually assaulted in a bathroom at the Galleria by multiple men. One of the men was a mall employee. Fox 26's Natalie He is joining us now live from the Galleria with the disturbing details. Natalie.
Well, Anthony, court documents reveal that there were up to 7 men involved in the sex assault. It apparently happened at one of the public bathrooms here at the Galleria Mall. And tonight, one local organization has an important message for parents.
The FBI has arrested Arthur Hector Fernandez III and charged the 29-year-old with sexual exploitation of children. Fernandez is pictured here on his private Instagram with the username allegedly Hector. His account was named in court documents that detailed the disturbing allegations that he and at least 6 other unidentified men sexually assaulted and raped a toddler at what appeared to be a Galleria Mall bathroom. Court documents say last month the Australian Centre to Counter Child Exploitation reported 4 explicit videos found on the dark web to the FBI, in which at least 2 toddlers, ages 2 and 3, were filmed being sexually and verbally assaulted by multiple men at once. Relatives of the toddlers told investigators Fernandez was a friend and fellow Galleria employee who offered to watch the kids while they were at work at the mall.
Gross. So many fucking questions. I don't want to know any of them or answers. Like, I just want everybody to burn in hell that's even tangentially related to what happened there, because that's fucked up. Well, of course. That's what it says. There seems to be some more nefarious intent behind that, if you ask me. Uh, that's true. It's true. I'm gonna move on. Breaking. Damn it. Yeah, this is breaking enough. This is yesterday. Massive search and rescue underway at Tahoe Ski Resort after major avalanche buries and injures multiple people in Olympic Valley, California. Numerous emergency personnel and other agencies are on the scene at Palisades Tahoe Ski Resort in Olympic Valley, California, conducting a massive search and rescue after multiple people were buried in a major avalanche near the GS Gully area of the K-22 lift. Officials report all lift operations at Palisade and Alpine are closed for the day. The extent of trapped individuals remains unknown at this time, but more reports of multiple injuries. This story is developing. The video won't play. Twitter's having problems tonight. So, officials at Ski Report are reporting only one fatality and one person injured in the avalanche at California Ski Resort, according to official statements. So, avalanches are scary things. They're scary. And they can. I have some funny stuff at the end, like 2. Damn it, Digger. Okay, so we're gonna move on to this. I'm sure everybody's heard of it, but Alaska Airlines forced to make emergency landing after large aircraft window blows out mid-air. Window turned out to be an emergency door that was inoperable. A forced emergency landing of Alaska Airlines Flight 1282 at Portland International Airport on Friday night. Flight traveling from Portland to Ontario, California, faced severe depressurization, causing the ejection of a large window section. I'm just going to tell you what happened because this is the original reporting and not entirely accurate. So the screws weren't tightened, and the door blew off the aircraft, causing depressurization. They were only at 16,000 feet because they were still in the climb. The autopilot took them back down to 10,000. But this is what a video from inside looked like. The fuck?
This wasn't even the emergency door. We're at the end of the plane, so the emergency door's right there. It was just a piece of the plane. Okay, so there was no one seated there. There was thankfully no one seated near the window. Yeah, they just said. I said that I thought we were one. I take it back. Yeah, I thought we were too.
I would absolutely piss myself. No joke. But breaking: United finds loose bolts on plug doors during 737 MAX 9 inspections. As you can see, so this is the door frame, and they were in-op exit road doors. I know. I certainly would not have been. Yes, and they found that several planes in the MAX 9 fleet also were not bolted in. So this is about the remaining. So on Monday, United Airlines disclosed that it discovered loose bolts during inspections of its 737 MAX 9 fleet following an incident where a door plug was blown out of an Alaskan Airlines plane over the weekend. United Airlines did not specify the number of planes affected by loose bolts. In a statement, the airline said, since we began preliminary inspections on Saturday, we found instances that appear to relate to installation issues in the door plug. For example, the bolts that needed additional tightening. The statement also assured that United's tech ops team would address these findings to ensure the safe return of aircraft to service. All airlines, including United, have been directed by the FAA to ground their 737 MAX 9s in response to the Alaskan Airlines incident where door plug dislodged on Friday. United's inspections aimed to identify and rectify any potential issues. And this is before that. So the FAA statement, the FAA will order the temporary grounding of certain Boeing 737 MAX 9 aircraft operated by U.S. airlines or in U.S. territory. The Emergency Airworthiness Directive that will be issued shortly to require operators to inspect aircraft before their further flights that do not meet the inspection cycle specified in the EAD. The required inspections will take around 4 to 8 hours per aircraft. The EAD will affect approximately 171 airplanes worldwide. This is the brand new iteration. So I have two questions. One, how the fuck? Two, what else is wrong with the planes? If you know that's wrong because one failed, I mean that Alaskan Airlines plane was just put into or just delivered for service in October. It's not even like they were old planes or anything. That October, very recently. It is insane to think that. Yeah, Boeing fucked up yet again. Surprise. I know everybody's shocked. But moving on. Multiple people injured after parts of the crane collapses in Manhattan, New York. Numerous emergency personnel are on the scene after a crane collapsed in Inwood, Manhattan. New York EMS units are reporting that 5 people have been injured in the collapse and at least 3 people have with serious injuries, with 2 others with minor injuries. NYPD advised that the boom of the crane broke off and landed in a nearby construction site. All construction workers at the affected site have been accounted for by first responders. Police are asking everyone to avoid the area as they divert traffic surrounding the scene.
Oh, man. Got the whole street shut down behind me. Huh. Mind you, as you see, they don't even have a fucking second floor just yet.
So apparently that happens probably too often, but scary as always. All right. These next 2 stories I covered at some point, but I wanted to touch on them very quickly. A significant explosion has taken place at a hotel with mass casualty incident declared in Fort Worth, Texas. This was allegedly a gas line. Police avoiding everybody to urging everyone to avoid the area. And then the updates, more new footage coming out when it first happened after a significant explosion took place at the Sandman Signature Hotel. So far, at least 11 people were injured and 2 in serious condition, with 1. Oh shit!
Sí, eso, la gasolina. ¿Eh?
See, it's all
Yeah, sí, todo.
it's all off the front though. Like you can see it on the corner there. And then ATF says the explosion at Sandman Signature Hotel in Fort Worth, Texas, caused by natural gas. Witnesses inside of the hotel say they smelled something like paint burning before the explosion occurred. And That dude's huge. Oh, the cop update. Officials confirmed that 21 people were injured in a gas explosion at the Fort Worth Hotel. So that is the remainder of the incidents. So, yeah, this whole thing kind of blew off the front of the hotel. Kind of crazy. So this was the other day too. Large tornado touches down on the ground in the area of Fort Lauderdale. Reports of damage. Numerous Florida residents watched a confirmed large tornado touches down in the heart of Fort Lauderdale. Officials from the National Weather Service had issued a tornado warning around 6 p.m. Eastern. Multiple videos from different angles show how debris and power flashes as the tornado moves through the area. Multiple reports of possible damage. The extent of the damage is currently unknown. So here's going to be that tornado.
Oh my god. Did they get right out of the pool? Jesus Christ. Yeah, they did. Still, look at gathering in the water. Ryan! Oh my god, Ryan.
Look at all the boats right there.
Oh my god, this is so scary to watch. This is literally my worst fear.
I'm so happy it's going away. Oh, just flip that boat over!
Oh my god.
Oh, it's gonna run right through this freaking main drag while this comes. Did it disperse?
I can't tell.
So that is the tornado. So I'm glad I looked one more time real quick before. So this would be our last actual article. So they've released updated footage from the bombing in Yemen, and we can unequivocally at this time say that this is accurate footage. That's Dr. Jill and former Vice President Joseph Robinette Biden looking at their good work. Now I can say it's authentic because it looks like it. So like I said, two funny ones to kind of bring it down. Before everyone calls City Hall, please remember side streets get plowed last. However, your mom will continue to get plowed first. That remains a priority. Accurate. Always remember that for the winter, ladies and gentlemen. And then this guy, thing, girl, it, he, she, I don't know, but it's kind of cool. Pretty awesome. So that is going to be it for news and views for this week. Like I said, stay safe if you plan on going out to the city or going out to a large group this weekend. Just keep an eye out, look around, and be aware of your surroundings. Because I feel like there's more to come on this whole thing. There's a reason why they did what they did. So, with that being said, in about 40 minutes, there is a rocket launch. Oh, I had the damn link and then I fucking copied something. What do I get for being proactive? There's a rocket launch from JAXA, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, ICGS-8. So if you want to go take a look, that will be with Mr. Max Murrah. Hope you join Rocket Garden Media for the coverage. Until then, hope everyone has a wonderful evening. Thank you for stopping by. Please hit that like button on the way out. Subscribe if you haven't. And check to make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube is asshole. Until next time, everyone have a good night. And I'll see you again soon. Take care.